At 7:59 a.m., it was just another Tuesday in America. The sun rose over the Atlantic, painting the New York skyline gold. Tens of thousands of commuters flooded the streets, bankers, secretaries, janitors, baristas, moving through the heart of the world's busiest city. No one knew the sky above them had already been turned into a weapon. At Boston's Logan International Airport, American Airlines Flight 11 pushed back from the gate. It was a Boeing 767 bound for Los Angeles. There were 92 people on board, and nothing about it seemed unusual. Nearby, another 767, United Airlines Flight 175, was preparing for takeoff. Both aircraft were heavy with fuel for a cross-country journey. To the crew and passengers, it was a morning like any other. But to a small group of men on those planes, it was the beginning of the deadliest terrorist attack in modern history. 8:14 a.m. Flight 11 stopped responding to air traffic control. Controllers assume it's a radio failure. They keep trying. No answer. Minutes later, the plane's transponder, the signal that tells radar who and where it is, suddenly goes dark. On their screens, it becomes just a ghostly blip. At first, no one panics. Planes lose contact all the time, but something feels off. The aircraft isn't following its assigned route, it's turning south toward New York City. 8:19 a.m. A flight attendant picks up the phone from the back of the plane. Her voice is calm, but it carries.
Digit 332, just going to maintain follow 180, say indicated speed.
Okay, down to 180 and we're doing 280 right now because it's at 332.
8:24 a.m. Air traffic control in Boston hears a voice come through the radio, heavy with a foreign accent. We have some planes. Just stay quiet and you'll be okay. The words send chills through the room. Controllers exchange glances. Did he just say planes? Plural? In that instant, they realize they're not dealing with one hijacking, but possibly several. (8:37 a.m.) NORAD, the North American Aerospace Defense Command, is alerted. 2 F-15 fighter jets at Otis Air National Guard Base in Massachusetts are scrambled. Their mission, find Flight 11. But the jet's radar signal has vanished and the sky is full of routine air traffic. They're looking for a needle in a haystack moving at 500 miles per hour. 8:46 a.m. Manhattan, the morning rush. People heading into the World Trade Center, a symbol of American prosperity. 110 stories tall, twin towers rising into the clouds. At that very moment, a flash cuts through the sky. Flight 11 appears from nowhere, descending steeply, engines roaring. It banks hard and in seconds it's gone, swallowed by the North Tower. A fireball erupts. The shockwave rocks lower Manhattan. Millions will remember exactly where they were when they saw it live or heard the news. For the first few moments, no one knows what has happened. Was it a small plane? A freak accident? Cable networks scramble to get images, but the smoke tells a different story. Black, thick, rising thousands of feet. New York's skyline is bleeding. 8:50 a.m. President George W. Bush is visiting an elementary school in Sarasota, Florida. He's told a plane has hit the World Trade Center. His first thought, a tragic accident. He continues reading to a classroom of children, unaware the next blow is only minutes away. 8:59 a.m. A second radar blip, another Boeing 767, United Airlines Flight 175, has also turned off course. Controllers are watching it head directly toward the city. No radio response. One of them mutters, "We're going to lose another one." 9:03 a.m., the world changes again. Live cameras, already fixed on the burning North Tower, capture the unthinkable. From the right side of the frame, Flight 175 streaks toward the towers and disappears in an orange inferno. The South Tower explodes. Gasps ripple across every newsroom. This is no accident. America is under attack. In seconds, the illusion of safety shatters. Panic grips lower Manhattan. Office workers flood stairwells, choking with smoke. Firefighters from all 5 boroughs race toward the towers. They don't hesitate, they never do. For them, the mission is simple: go up while everyone else comes down. 9:05 a.m. In Florida, an aide whispers in President Bush's ear. A second plane hit the second tower. America is under attack. The room falls silent. Television networks cut to wall-to-wall coverage. Phones jam, airports freeze. In the air, 2 more planes have already been taken. 9:28 a.m. United Airlines. Flight 93, en route from Newark to San Francisco, reports strange sounds in the cockpit. Minutes later, screams. The hijackers take control. The passengers don't know what's happening elsewhere. They will soon. 9:37 a.m. Another explosion. This time in Washington, D.C. American Airlines. Flight 77 slams into the Pentagon, the nerve center of the U.S. military. Flames consume the west side of the building. Thousands of fools are ordered to land immediately. More than 4,000 planes begin diverting to the nearest airport. The sky, once a symbol of freedom, falls silent. 9:59 a.m. The unthinkable continues. After burning for 56 minutes, the South Tower collapses. From miles away, people hear the thunder as 100,000 tons of steel and concrete fall. The dust rolls through the streets like a tidal wave. First responders run for cover, then turn back again to save whoever they can. 10:03 a.m. Over Pennsylvania, the passengers of Flight 93 have learned the truth. Through phone calls, they know other planes have been used as weapons. They vote to fight back. Their last recorded words, "Let's roll." Moments later, the aircraft crashes into a field near Shanksville. It never reaches its target, believed to be either the White House or the U.S. Capitol. Their sacrifice prevents another strike. 10:28 a.m. The North Tower, the first hit, the last standing, gives way. The skyline collapses into ash and silence. New York disappears behind a cloud of dust. The city that never sleeps stands frozen. The world watches in disbelief. For the next several hours, chaos reigns. Hospitals prepare for waves of survivors that never come. Firefighters dig through rubble with their hands. Every street corner becomes a bulletin board covered in missing posters. The sound of sirens never stops. By noon, the airspace over North America is empty. For the first time in history, every commercial flight is grounded. Silence stretches from coast to coast. The skies belong only to fighter jets and emergency helicopters. At 8:30 that night, President Bush addresses the nation. Thousands of lives were suddenly ended by evil, despicable acts of terror. He vows justice, but nothing, no words, no promises can erase the images burned into memory. In the following days, the numbers begin to emerge. The scale of loss almost unimaginable. Nearly 3,000 people gone in a single morning. More than 400 first responders who ran toward danger, never to return. And countless families left with empty chairs at dinner tables. The towers are gone, but their absence fills the sky. In New York, the fires burned for months. At Ground Zero, workers sift through debris 24 hours a day, searching for traces of the lives once lived there. Volunteers arrive from every corner of the country, nurses, police officers, construction workers, united by grief and determination. A city wounded but not broken. In the weeks that follow, airports become fortresses. Security transforms overnight. Words like Homeland Security, Terror Alert, and No-Fly List enter the daily vocabulary. America is different now. The world is different now. Yet amid the smoke and sorrow, moments of light emerge. A flag raised over twisted steel. Strangers hugging in the streets. Firefighters carrying their brothers' helmets. The spirit of a nation refusing to yield. 20 years later, people still ask, where were you that morning? Every generation since has grown up in its shadow. For many, it was the day childhood ended, the day the world proved how fragile peace can be. But history is not only about what was lost, it's about what endured. The courage, the unity, the resolve, all born from tragedy. New towers would rise, memorials would stand, and the names of the fallen would be read every year as the sky over Manhattan turns the same clear blue as it was that morning. Because in the silence that followed the collapse, there was something louder than destruction. The sound of humanity holding on. Firefighters climbing back into the rubble. Neighbors sharing masks of dust-covered faces. A city that refused to disappear, and a world that vowed never to forget. September 11th wasn't just a day. It was a moment when time stopped, and history began again. A reminder that even when the towers fell, the human spirit did not. This is a story of a day that changed everything. A day when the sky fell silent, and the world remembered what it means to stand together.